on your kittens and away we go.
This is RamView. RamView wrap up. Happy to have you with us today. I am keeping it short, keeping it tight. No intros, not too many graphics, but just wanted to acknowledge our sponsor, Kistler Law. I want to thank them for everything that they do. And if you're in an auto accident and you need help, and if you got questions, call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since 92. Okay, hey, we're just going to blast some things here. We don't want to take away from the show later this afternoon. World Series is over, so I'm going to be on between 3 and 4 o'clock today with the full RamView show, but we just wanted to recap what happened yesterday. Rams won. That's all that counts, right? The Rams won. Not only did they win, but they gave their fans almost nothing to talk about, which was great. They gave us nothing to talk about, nothing to get too uptight about. Yes, it is Victory Monday. So, sorry I left that graphic up there a little bit too long, but the thing I liked about this game was the Saints have played good defense against other teams. The Buccaneers struggled to beat them, 23-3. They needed some help there, but they're all banged up. The Rams aren't banged up. They came out and, you add 4 more points based on what would it be? The missed field goal, mixed extra point. And you're looking at, a 38-10 game. They played 40 to 41 offensive snaps. The Saints did yesterday. So the Rams came out and took care of business. So they gave the Rams fans almost nothing to worry about, nothing to get caught up about. It's the kind of game we've wanted all season, which is great, except the kicking game. And some of that is Cardi. Some of that is Joshua Cardi. And I think a little bit more of it is special teams coach Chase Blackburn. And he's the one I'm most worried about because generally, when Cardi misses, it's either blocked or it's, he's usually pretty true. He doesn't have those scary makes, right? If you remember Zerline, Greg Legg, he'd have those screwball kicks where he'd come off his right foot, go this way, and drift back. Usually Cardi's kicks are true. I don't think this is all Cardi. I'm not ready to give up on Cardi yet, but boy, there needs to be some accountability along that front there and on that unit completely. So we need to, the Rams need to adjust that. And McVay said ultimately it's his responsibility. He owned it. So that was really cool to see. So we're going to keep going here. And I know everyone's getting ready to talk about the trade deadline. I saw some suggestions that, man, I just think, man, well, why do you put that out there, right? It's like Rams trading for David Njoku of Cleveland. If there was nothing in the tight end room, I can understand it, but that idea of the Rams trading for a tight end when all 4 tight ends are playing just seems kind of crazy right now. So there's a lot of ridiculous stuff, kind of the stuff you get during dead periods during the summer and between camp and free agency and the draft, right? That stuff you get afterwards. That stuff you get after the Super Bowl, before the new league season begins, maybe even the week or 2 before the combine. You get that ridiculous stuff. And, it's when stuff gets blown out of proportion, like Matthew Stafford's back, Alaric Jackson's situation. Those guys haven't missed a game this year. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so Rams won. 90% of it was good. Snap counts. The offensive line played every snap. I think there was some misses there, but we saw Trey Young get in there, or Chase Young get in on Alaric Jackson once. But you saw they played every snap. No one went out. The Rams had 80 offensive snaps. The offensive line played each and every one. Haven't seen the grades, but I've looked at the grades going into this, and I'm not. It's PFF, right? It's like, okay, that's all right. Whatever they're seeing, we know what we see day in, day out. What was interesting again was the use of all 4 tight ends. Davis Allen, 47 snaps. Colby Parkinson, 45. Tyler Higbee, 42. Terrence Ferguson, I didn't check it, but I think it's the most snaps of the season. He had 24 snaps, and he had more than 1 catch. And so this was good, especially coming out of the bye. that you could see this whole group being incorporated. And again, Atwell out, and then later on Nakua going out for a bit. That this is something that looks like it's going to remain in the Rams' arsenal for the rest of the year. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum look like they've settled down on their issues regarding ball security. So, and then of course Matthew Stafford, right? Yeah, whatever. I love how everyone's talking MVP now. We were talking MVP a month ago when we were doing this show, and now everyone's talking about MVP. Snaps on defense, again, 40 to 41 snaps. I got the Rams playing 41 snaps. I looked at offensive snaps for the Saints that said they had 40, so we're in that range there. They kept getting off the field, and between the Rams offense eating clock, peanut punches by Nate Landman, the pass rush. Again, can we just play football? The Byron Young thing really fried me. It really fried me when they called that on him. And the producers or directors of the Fox Network who were doing that game, horrible on their replays. Horrible on their going back and looking at things again. I didn't have a problem with Vilma, but whoever's directing that show definitely deserves a demerit or two. But you had the Rams offense eating clock, peanut punches by Nate Landman. I think that's his third this year. The pass rush, Emmanuel Forbes getting his first pick, and if he's not shoestrung, I'm wondering if he goes to the house or not. Let me take a drink of my coffee here. They were only on the field for 41 snaps, and I thought it was interesting that Lake, Curl, Durant, and Forbes were all on the field for 41 snaps. And you also saw Forbes getting a little more physical, which was really cool to see. Did not see Roger McCreary take any defensive snaps. Maybe he did, but I didn't see him. Jared Verse played 37, Byron Young 32, Josiah Stewart 14. And then there was a nice rotation along the front there with Kobe Turner 30, Braden Fisk 25, Puna Ford 20, Tyler Davis 13, Ty Hamilton 4, and Laurel Murchison 1. I think Murchison was in there for a few more snaps. But what I liked about this was the defense played 40 snaps coming off a bye week, right? And so this was like playing half a game after having a full week off. So this team should be ready. This team, as it looks right now, should be super healthy going into next week into Fog City. And so this is really cool. This was a really good in that regards. The Rams didn't mess around. They knocked the Saints out early. Again, that ridiculous. Can they play football? It's football. And that call on Byron Young was, I thought it was stupid. There's targeting the helmet and there's incidental contact to the helmet. And you got to know the difference. And that gave them their only touchdown. And that kind of ticked me off for the sake of the defense. Micah, yes, Victory Monday. USA Expat, I like the 13 personnel, but how about using McClendon as an extra blocking tight end in the red zone? That's creative. I love that. Yeah, I got no problem. They did that a little bit with Noteboom, I think, a few years ago. And, yeah, I'm all down with that. Yeah, thank you. USA Expat. Forbes was a shoestring tackle away from a pick six, and you guys were about 5 minutes away from hearing me talk a bunch of trash. Hello, Joe. Thank you so much. Actual David Henry. Hey, guys, sometimes now that I see you on Restream first, and I know you're coming over from YouTube, your names don't appear as I'm used to referencing you. So if I do know you and I'm just not putting your name together, I apologize. But once I learn your name, I'm usually pretty good about remembering it. Good win from the Rams also that the 49ers suffered no fools. They went into New York, beat a depleted Giant team. They did their job, and they won. And then Seattle looked like the Green Bay Packers are supposed to look last night in Washington. And again, I want to go back and say it was in Washington, right? I got Steeler fan Rob telling me, because he's all full of oats right now because the Steelers beat the Colts or the Colts lost to the Steelers. And he's all full of himself right now saying the Rams better watch out for Seattle. In time, as Reagan said to Father Karras, in time. And so I like the Rams. They had to pick off this win. These are the wins you got to get, and they won it the appropriate way. They didn't tax themselves with a lot of snaps. And now Rams are 6-2. Seattle 6-2. Rams got a win in the NFC, and the 49ers are 6-3. I really feel good. I feel better about them going into Frisco this coming Sunday than I have at any other time. I think the Rams can go in there and smash them. I also think Frisco, it's a divisional game, a rival game, so it won't look like it did against the Saints. But I think the Rams can go in there and smash them. We saw them go in there and smash them last year in a 12-6 game that was very physical. The Rams have proven they can be as physical as the 49ers. So, hey, Joe, I was at the game yesterday. It was a good environment. I saw a bunch of clowns in 49er gear. Who were they rooting for? Were they rooting for the Saints? I'm kind of curious. I mean, I guess, that's funny to wear that gear there. I mean, of all the gear, right? Everyone wears their gear. They're flashing their gear. I went to a Reds-Giants baseball game, and I wore my Dodger gear. I get it. That part's okay. But as hot and contested as Rams 49ers is, why would you do that? But I guess they did. All right, let's get to a couple of things here. Again, I know I'm drifting into a longer space here. I'm plus 10 minutes. I know a lot of people are quoting, and I've seen it around the area on the net. Diana Rossini from The Athletic and the speculation that the Rams are among several teams inquiring about Trey Hendrickson, and they said who's on the block for Cincy. And I don't know if anyone wants anything defensive from Cincy right now, right? But they said Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, off-ball linebacker, and Cam Taylor. And then there was speculation on who the Rams would be interested in. And I thought that was kind of funny. It's like, isn't it obvious? Cam Taylor, Brett, Rams already acquired a player of the same caliber in Roger McCreary. So I don't think it's Cam Taylor, Brett. Logan Wilson is an off-ball linebacker. And for the first time in a long, long time, off-ball linebacker is a position of strength. By the way, did you see the hit Omar Speights did when he depleted that guy yesterday? He only played 25 snaps. Nate Landman played 37. So the Rams for this season, I think the Rams are well stocked at off-ball linebacker and are not going to give up anything. Plus, you could be thinking about the future. Nate Landman is on a one-rock deal for 1 year. He's going to make money next year. Logan Wilson's already making 9.5 rocks next year. I don't think the Rams are going to make a deal for Logan Wilson. But the position that people have talked about is, and I could see some merit to it, is Trey Hendrickson. He's making 30 rocks this year, but half the season is gone already. He's been injured a whole lot of times, so he's bound to get healthy. But the idea or the speculation, and I saw this, that the Rams would have to give up a first-round draft pick for Trey Hendrickson is ridiculous. The edge room can always use experience, right? Always. I get it. You could always use another guy, right? But it's far from a weakness. And you're not going to give up a number one draft pick or number one draft capital to reinforce a room that is already strong. And I just thought that was again, guys, just because they're behind a microphone, just because they got a credential, it doesn't mean they're smarter than you. It doesn't mean that usually they're quite lazy. And not everybody, but you can tell them apart when they come up with lazy takes like this. And sometimes, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I'll be proven wrong because I was wrong, not because I was lazy. Rams trading for a tight end. Just don't get it. Just don't get it. Where I do think the Rams will make a move tomorrow. It's 1 o'clock our time here on the coast. Let's see, what do we got there? Let's see. Actual David. Bad news. Eagles picked up the Miami fire sale. All right, good. They picked up Jalen Phillips from the Miami, and the Rams need a kicker because we have none. I'm not worried about Cardi as much as I am worried about the whole, what do they call it? The operation. That's what's getting me. I'm still got a little bit of hope there for Cardi. USA expat getting tired of Maurice Jones-Drew sounding like he knows better than Les Snead. Okay. But I'm watching the Ram game yesterday in the Ram Cave and with one of the Mid-Valley Sports guys. And we're watching Nakua walk into the locker room in the third quarter. And we're thinking right there, my thought was that's the move the Rams are going to make. With Nakua and Adams as the veterans and Atwell now on the IR for a month, you don't know what he's going to be when he comes back. And when he comes back, Rams might not even use him. The room gets really young with Xavier Smith, Jordan Whittington, and Kanata Mumfield. We saw what happened to the Rams wide receiver unit in 2021 after OBJ went down and Van Jefferson was banged up, and Van Jefferson wasn't all that great to begin with. It was strictly and exclusively Cooper Kupp with some help from friends Bryson Hopkins and Ben Skoranek. So I could see the Rams making a move for another wide receiver. Now, this is what popped into my head. So I'm watching the game, and I get a text from our sponsor, Paul Kistler, and they're talking about the guy right there for the Saints, an undrafted free agent who got a second, who's coming up to the end of his deal, and Rashid Shaheed there with the Saints, that he would be a good third receiver. Not talking about a big name here. You're talking about somebody that can augment that group with a little bit of experience. And they suggested him, and I thought, that's not a bad idea. And then some other names came up, and then it was Jacoby Myers for the Raiders. And their season's not going anywhere. So Jacoby Myers would be a nice pickup, not too expensive. And I'm going to post right here this list, and I'm going to show you who I think could come into play or should come into play for the Rams. Here you go. Deebo Samuel lost his quarterback again last night. The Texans really should shut Jaden Daniels down, even if they're saying he can come back later in the year from that. Unfortunately, it was left elbow, not his right, but this guy's been hurt 3 times this year already. Shut it down. Shut it down and go with Marcus the rest of the season. That means Deebo Samuel, who's making about 17 rocks this year, but is a free agent because everything was voided. He's a free agent. Deebo Samuel is physical. Deebo Samuel can catch the ball. Deebo Samuel can run that jet sweep so Puka wouldn't have to. Don't you think? Now, I don't know where he's at between the years. I think we got an idea. But could you imagine Deebo Samuel coming to the Rams? He's a free agent next year. It would be a rental. I don't think you'd have to give up too much. Tax skins aren't going anywhere. Why not make this deal? I'm going to stay here for 2 minutes. 2 minutes and take all the heat. Slim Hansen. Hi, Joe. Rams looking good. If they stay healthy, they can go all the way. I fully agree with you. I'm leaving Deebo's name up there, guys. I'll show you my face. There you go. Okay. So I am aware. I left the graphic up there. I'll show you my face. But Deebo Samuel, huh? What do you think? Rams have the talent to go all the way, right? They do. They have all the talent right now in the room to go all the way. I think they have the kicker that can go all the way. I'm just not sold on their special teams coach and how you can't figure out to get protection. That second miss, it was very obvious that he pushed it right to keep it from getting blocked. The first one, they said the threads were turned. Okay, whatever. I always thought that was somewhat of an overrated thing, but if they're still saying that's a thing, I'm gonna listen to them. But the Rams have a team here. They really do. They get back Ahkello Witherspoon. They get back Darius Williams. They get back, they incorporate Roger McCreary. There's depth there in the second. Not shut down Lester Hayes, Mike Haynes depth, but there's depth there. And you got to love our off-ball guys. We're begging for Sean Dolak to get snaps. We like what we have up front. I think we'd like a little bit more, and we like our edge, right? This is a good team. I get a little worried about Devontae Adams, and I get a little worried about Puka Nacua, as we saw yesterday, is that they're your veteran receivers. And if something happens to them, and it can happen real fast with veterans, now you're Xavier Smith, who I like, Jordan Whittington, who I like, and Kanata Mumfield. I like them. I like these guys. But come on, you owe it to Matthew Stafford to have another horse in the barn, right? What about Deebo Samuel? Slim Hansen, Deebo would be great. Thank you very much. Adams is solid. Adams is excellent, right? But imagine a Deebo Samuel adding to some of that physicality, right? We know he's a physical player. Let's see here. Joe with Indy, Packers, Lions all losing. I can totally see us number one in the new power rankings. I agree. I don't get caught up in those things. 6-2-3-3, 6-6-6-6. I don't get too caught up in those things. And honestly, I'm not too caught up in Stafford being MVP. I'd be happy for him on a personal level. I think it would enhance his Canton argument, which should already be done. So I'm not caught up with him being MVP. I think when I bring up Stafford MVP, it's about the disrespect of the Rams. They just completely and always totally disrespected by the mainstream media and or the KBM, Kiss Butt media. And so yeah, they're as big a threat. And aren't you sick of the Packer talk now? I mean, Tucker Kraft going down really sucks. But did Micah Parsons have a sack yesterday? I'll wait for you to look it up. 2 tackles, no sacks. They paid 2 number ones for Micah Parsons. He is an empty calorie pass rusher. When it counts, someone needed to make a play yesterday. Where was Micah? Where was Micah? And I got sick of everyone just falling down at the throne of the Green Bay Packers. I don't hate the Packers. It's the KBM anointing them. Lions looked mortal yesterday. Absolutely. This NFC is wide open, and the Rams have an opportunity right now to put the fear of the Lord into this conference. You go up to Frisco and you make a statement, right? And then I think it's the next week you get Seattle at home. Let me double check that real quick here. Boom, schedule. There we go. Yeah, week 11, you have the Seahawks coming to SoFi. So you have a chance right now in the next 3 weeks to make a statement. And you should make a statement because guess what? You got 5-4 right now, Carolina, waiting for you on November 30th. So let's see here. Debo and 13 personnel is a cheat code. Awesome. That's a great way. That's a great line. If we trade for another receiver, the NFC Championship is our floor. It should be already. I don't think anything is acceptable other than an appearance in the NFC Championship game. But yeah, I don't think anything's acceptable beyond that. And but Debo Samuel and everyone else stays healthy. Because the bummer about the OBJ thing that came in 2021 is that same week Robert Woods went down, right? But you bring in Debo. It's not a crazy thought. Okay, so just make sure if it happens, I'm just struggling here, guys. I'm a struggling guy. Got to buy the baby shoes, pay the mortgage. I could use the props if Debo Samuel ends up in Horns. There we go. Okay, we've hit the 20+ minute mark. That's long for RamView review, but a positive day. Slim Hansen, Niners, Hawks, and then Tampa Bay. Yeah, that would be a huge statement going through to the end of the month. And USA, I laughed so hard when I just saw Darnold for MVP. Yeah, Darnold, I don't dislike Darnold, and there are times he looks really good. But remember how great the Vikings were last year and how the Vikings should have kept him, and the Vikings were a great team. Boy, the Rams make Sam Darnold look really mortal, didn't they? And I'm still not completely sold. Not completely sold on Seattle. I think there's energy there. I think there's excitement, but I'm not completely sold. Slim Hansen, Joe, all of these injuries other teams are getting is simply the wild card. Who is next? Yeah, that's the part that's kind of scary, but we'll see, huh? We'll see. Hey, guys, I'm going to come on between 3 and 4 today, probably about 3:30 maybe. So check us out there. Just wanted to get this review in. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but Rams took care of business. That's the most important thing. Rams took care of business. Slim, David, 623, USA Expat, Micah, all you guys. I do appreciate you being here. Have a great day. We'll see you in about 6 hours.